We're starting the show this morning with breaking news coming from table tennis. Segun Toriola, that is one of Africa's most decorated players. He has been named as the chairman of the Africa Table Tennis Federation Committee. That is, he will be in charge of all the players as the chairman of the newly constituted Africa Table Tennis Federation Athletics Committee. So that's good news coming from ITTF this morning. Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. First, let's take a look at the major headlines. For Heartland new coach, he's eyeing a place in the Champions League for next season. And also on the program, Sepp Blatter is actually getting more rival. Just yesterday, he said Europe should come up and contest in the elections. And of course, one man from Europe is already in the presidential race coming up in May. Also on the program, we'll be talking about the Australian Open, where Thomas Berdych finally ends his losing streak to Rafael Nadal. Well, let's just see how that happened this morning in Melbourne. And also, Maria Sharapova crushing of Canadian hopeful Eugenia Bouchard and Simona Halep. She's already out of the tournament.
Okay, first set. There it is. Okay, second set. There it is. Second match. There it is. This is 6-2, 6-love, 7-6.
Game, set a match, marcado. By possession, 6-4.
Well, Simona Halep, she's out. Of course, Maria Sharapova, she's still in the race. And Rafael Nadal, well, before the tournament actually started, he said because of the illness he had last season, it will be very difficult for him to have a smooth run. And the man he has beaten about 17 times. Wow. It was almost going to be a historic one because you already have 3 people on that have had a whole lot of losing streak before now. So Thomas Berdych was about to actually have 18. That is making history. But he did not just allow that to happen. He had to capitalize on Rafael Nadal's weakness. He suffered hamstring during the game. And also another one was he was feeling a little bit dizzy and all. I think Rafael Nadal is still really not too fit to compete in a Grand Slam. Maybe he needs to really rest a while. But before the next one will start, which is actually his favorite surface, the French Open. Chinasia Iboyen is here with me this morning. Chinasia, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia. Rafael Nadal finally gets a victory. Thomas Berdych finally gets a victory over Rafael Nadal. Good one. But you know something about Rafael Nadal that I don't like? People might say it's just, it happens to always be like that, but there's almost always a reason for him to lose. He's always not fit. He's always is ill or something. I know, but for me, if he's not fit enough to play a tournament, he shouldn't play because most times.
But he got to the quarterfinal and Roger Federer, that is very fit, could not even get to the stage.
Roger is a better loser for me. Nadal takes the shine off a little from his opponents. You know, he might tell you before the game that he's not 100% fit or something, but he always manages to be fit for the French Open.
6-2, 6-love, 7-6.
Thomas Berdych played fantastic tennis. I watched the game this morning. It was, from the way he started, the first set, breezing through 6-2, then totally demolishing Nadal in the second set, 6-love. I felt this was going to be it. And when he got to the third set, Nadal showed some fight. Apparently, they got to a tiebreaker. But this man had, Nadal saved about 3 match points or 4, if I'm not mistaken, before Berdych finally overpowered and got that win. It's a good one because before this morning, Berdych had the longest losing streak to a single player on the ATP tour. He had lost 17 straight times to one player. Come on, how did you do that?
We have some
a lot of averages. At a point, it had to change, and good for him at the Australian Open at the Grand Slam. So yeah, good win for Thomas Berdych.
And now we have the longest men's winning streak, or rather losing streak. Yeah, Bjorn Borg. Actually, he was able to defeat just one man, Vitas Gerulatis, from 1974 to 1981. That was a 17 losing streak. Also, Ivan Lendl was able to beat Tim Moyote from 1980 to 1990. That was like 17-game losing streak. And Ivan Lendl also against Jimmy Connors. It was 1984 to 1992. So Thomas Berdych was already there from 2007 to 2006 to 2015. Let's say 2014, because 2015, of course, he decided to look, I will definitely not break a record. So you have 4 players now tied on that longest losing
to a single player.
Yeah. Maria Sharapova, of course, she's still there. Eugenia Boucher, I thought it was going to be a very tight one for her. 78 minutes, 6-3, 6-2, and the match was over.
The thing about Eugenie Bouchard and Maria Sharapova is that Maria Sharapova has her number. Because, no, this is the 4th time they'll be meeting in their careers, and Maria Sharapova has won all 4. 3 of them have come in Grand Slams. I think right now there's a mental block. Just like the way Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams. I think she has not been to Serena Williams since 2002, 2004. I can't remember now. It's been a while. After she won Wimbledon, she hasn't beaten Serena. She hasn't beaten Serena Williams since then. So the same thing is beginning to happen between her and this young Canadian Eugenie Bouchard. But I think at a point very soon, Eugenie Bouchard, her game is on the up. She's still on the rise. She's getting there. She's one to watch out for after the domination of, or the dominance, or rather, of Serena Sharapova and the likes of them. Eugenie Bouchard is somebody you should look out for, coming up. So definitely, I think at a point she will get her revenge against Maria Sharapova, and maybe it might be at a Grand Slam, because 3 times Maria Sharapova has stopped her from going further in a Grand Slam, and I think it's sad for her. But Maria Sharapova playing really well. Azarenka was knocked out. She was also a threat because she was not seeded in this tournament, and she was just floating. A dangerous opponent for anybody. She actually accounted for the outstar of Wozniacki. But she's out of the tournament. Good one. We might see. We might see Ekaterina Makarova will take on Sharapova in the semi-finals. Makarova knocked out Simona Halep, who had a fantastic 2014.
6-4,
6-4. Well, the exciting thing is that we might see a Williams sisters game in the semi-finals. That is, if they manage to win their semi-finals, their quarterfinals rather. Serena will be taking on. I can't remember her opponent now, but I know Venus will be taking on the young American Madison Keys.
She's 19 years.
Serena will be taking on Dominika Sibulkova. So definitely two tough games.
Tough games. And both of them will definitely meet in the semi-finals if they're able to overcome their opponents.
I want to see a Williams sisters game in a Grand Slam semi-final. Who would have thought in 2015?
It will never happen, right? Yeah. 34-33. Well, battle of the 30s. Okay, now let's come home. We're talking about Heartland. They've unveiled a new coach, Erasmus Ono, and he said his focus for next season is definitely to be in the continent, CAF Champions League, or even the Confederations Cup. Heartland actually finished 10th last season. Let's listen to him.
Management, my fellow colleagues here, period of my coaching career. I don't know, the assignment is so much. This opportunity is the great opportunity that I'm going to cling on. By the grace of God, we'll go continental this year. With the team discipline here, we have got to the end. With the cooperation of the management, anything I'm saying about myself, you are free to go and inquire anywhere. Go and inquire anywhere. Discipline. Because without discipline, I will never achieve. I will never achieve, no matter how good they are. Discipline is my watchword, and it remains. I will tackle it if there is indiscipline. But I believe not until I get there.
Okay, that's coming from Heartland near coach, of course. Well, he wants to do something really great with the club. Now, let's just move quickly to AFCON. What is happening there? You have a Group B. I actually tagged this group, the group of draws. Cape Verde came into this tournament not losing a game, actually. They are out, scoring just one goal, and that goal from the penalty spot. And that was actually the reason they lost out of it. If they had scored more goals, possibly they would have overcome DR Congo. For DR Congo, of course, they were able to score 2 goals. And of course, they ended up their games in draw also. What happened to this group?
You know, poor football, poor quality of football.
Very poor.
You know, it's not even.
Yeah,
You know,
strikers.
sometimes you see draws and you're like, "Wow, exciting game." Unfortunately, it ended in
Drab,
a draw.
boring,
It
rain.
was drab. It was insipid. It was uninspired. Nothing happening in those games. You know, some people say these AFCON games, you watch it and you fall asleep. Seriously, and it's not a lie. So
I wasn't expecting that from Cape Verde. Now, this is what it looks like. Now, take a look at what happened in this particular group.
There was only one win in that group.
Precisely, and just Tunisia.
Getting
And
a win
all
over
of them,
Zambia.
I think Zambia also did not win a game. They also lost one game.
And
But
drew two.
Congo Democratic Republic and, of course, Cape Verde
Verde.
did not lose a game, did not win any game. And they go, well, Congo qualified based on the fact that they scored just 2 goals.
2 goals, and the Cape Verdeans scored just 1. Sad one for the Cape Verdeans, because a lot of people were tipping them to go.
my
A lot of people were
team
tipping them to
out.
go further, maybe get to the quarterfinals, and from there, anything could have happened. But unfortunately for them, they couldn't get the goals they needed. The game yesterday, okay, to be fair to both sides, the rain played a major part in making the game as bad as it was,
Blame it
because
on the rain.
the rain was very the pitch was waterlogged. You know, they couldn't really string passes together, because that game was supposed to be a very thrilling
Yes,
game,
of course.
because Zambians know they needed a victory
A victory.
in that particular game. And come on, they were African champions just 2 years ago 3 years ago in 2012.
Now, this is the second
You know, so
tournament they're
definitely.
crashing out at the group stage. 2013, they bought at the group stage. Same thing happened. Now, take a look at the games that will be played in the semi-final. Now, you're having quarterfinal
Quarterfinals.
encounter where you have a Congo-Brazzaville against Democratic Republic of Congo, Tunisia and Equatorial Guinea.
I don't want to watch the
Okay.
match between both Congos.
Okay, now
I
for
might fall asleep.
today, South Africa and Ghana, Senegal and Algeria. Who will qualify from this group? This is still very open.
Yes, but I don't know. Looking at the game, Ghana, South Africa, I do not see South Africa getting a victory over the Ghanaians. But, you know, it's football, anything can happen. Personally, I think the Ghanaians will nick that one, maybe a draw or a win, and the Ghanaians will go through. But the other game between Algeria and Senegal is a game that I can't call, because both sides have played really well. The Senegalese have been playing well. It's just that they've not been making most of their chances, you know, taking all the chances and converting them into goals. So that one, it's touch and go between Algeria and Senegal. Anybody can get a victory in that game, but the Senegalese know a draw will be good for them, you know, because the Algerians have 3 points.
Okay.
The Senegalese have 4 points after getting a victory over Ghana and you know, drawing against South Africa. They have 4 points, so they know a draw will see them through. So they might be very, very cautious in that particular game. But that could also play to their disadvantage if they are relaxed and say, you know what, let's go for a draw, when they might just go and concede goals. And because the Algerians are the #1 ranked team in Africa, so you should not take them lightly at all.
Okay, from the African Cup of Nations now, let's go straight to what is happening in England. Of course, Capital One second leg semi-final will take place today, and it's Chelsea and Liverpool. Let's listen to Brendan Rodgers saying that, well, one man might just return for the game, but if he's not fit enough, he will not be playing. But Brendan Rodgers definitely would not want to take Chelsea lightly, especially after their exit from the FA Cup.